The large pharmaceutical company GSK or Glaxo-Smith-Kline has been in the headlines again in China over the past few days due to its bribery scandal. Chinese police had charged the former British boss of the Chinese branch of GSK and other colleagues with corruption after a probe found that the firm made hundreds of millions of dollars by bribing doctors and hospitals. The Chinese national broadcaster, CCTV, says that it directly increased its product prices. It listed several examples, such as Heptodin, a medicine used to treat hepatitis B patients. It says that in South Korea, the factory price of Heptodin is less than $3, $4 in Canada, and less than $5 in the UK, but nearly $23 in China. And it's actually sold at a price of $33 in China. It's not the first time that the pharmaceutical company GSK has been involved in bribery scandals. Last year, China's Public Security Ministry claims that GSK offered bribes to Chinese government officials, medical associations, and hospitals and doctors to boost its sales. And in 2012, the British drug maker paid $3 billion in the U.S. for promoting its best-selling antidepressants for unapproved usage. Now to hear what Chinese net users are saying about the latest pharmaceutical bribery case, let's now join our researcher, Julia Liu, in the newsroom. Hello, Julia. So what are Chinese net users' first reactions when hearing about the scandal involving Big Pharma's Glaxo-Smith-Kline?
Hi, Scott. Well, based on what I've seen, I have to say many net users are infuriated, especially when they've learned that the bribery has directly resulted in the high prices of GSK medicines, which are widely sold in Chinese drugstores and hospitals. And lots of posters talk about the Heptodin medicine you just mentioned. Well, first, have a listen to Shuanghua 车站 from heilongjiang.com. I felt so sad when I learned that the cost of the medicine is so much less. I've taken this medicine for 4 years, and the cheapest price I've known it was $28. And I've seen so many elderly people who have no medical insurance and have to give up these medicines due to their high prices. And then we have this poster, 枪浪之水, who says on Sohu.com. Well, how can they be so cruel? That's why so many people can't afford their medical bills nowadays. It's high time to investigate the extravagant profits in the medical field, especially the questionable pharmaceutical industry. But there are also some posters who point out that the CCTV actually did the wrong calculation. Listen to Yu1216, who has this to say. Well, the fact is a box of Heptodin, which contains 14 pills, has a factory price of $23 in China. But less than $3 in South Korea refers to the factory price of one single pill. But still, at the same time,
proved to be
some others who call for more actions against the company and medical staff that get involved, like 人民公社 ZG, who suggests on Weibo.com. Those who use that medicine should get together to sue the company. While this poster 天各一方 says on QQ.com, while those doctors who took kickbacks should definitely be arrested.
Granted, the words decent and trustworthy certainly do not come to mind when thinking of the pharmaceutical industry. The Chinese newspaper huanqiu published an article saying that some Western media have reported that because the Chinese medical industry is so rampant with corruption already that GSK is probably just a scapegoat to divert people's attention away from the level of domestic corruption. The newspaper, however, says that the Western media are trying to absolve for GSK's actions. So what are net users saying on this?
Right, and as far as I can see online, most of the net users aren't buying what's said in the huanqiu newspaper. Instead, they believe GSK is certainly not the only one to blame in this case. Well, first, Ben2 asks on QQ.com. Well, why are the medicines sold at a price of a few dollars, but dozens of dollars in China? We've never lacked regulatory bodies, administration for commodity prices, anti-corruption organizations, health departments. What are they doing? And we also have this Jiangsu-based poster who says on 163.com. Come on, why not mention the fact that the government is cashing in on the heavy taxes it creates when these foreign medicines enter China? And the medicine prices are set by the authorities, not the doctors or hospitals. And this Hebei-based poster has this rather sarcastic take on 163.com saying, now finally they passed the buck to a foreign company for the problem of high medical bills in China. And lastly, 亚之梦的眼泪 comments. Come on, it's quite common that we have medication prices much higher than their factory prices in China, not only the GSK's products.
Lastly, Julia, why do they think GSK Pharmaceuticals spent so much money on bribery in China?
Well, although, as you mentioned, the company did the same thing in some other countries, many pollsters firmly believe the situation is far more severe in China, since people are fed up with the corruption in the medical system in China. For example, Wu Kong Da Shu says on 163.com, well, I think GSK was just when in Rome. Otherwise, they couldn't survive in China's corrupt business environment. Business bribery had sadly become the hidden rule of almost every industry in China for quite a while. Well, 水是冰的泪 ZY from Zhejiang can't agree more, and he has this to say. So corruption has permeated into every sector in China. And this poster comments, the root cause of corruption is not a single company or a single person, but the medical system. Well, lastly, I'd like to wrap up with this take from Jiangnan Chijiao 医生. Well, when we blame the GSK, we should also have a careful look at our medical industry and those supervising the industry. Just as an old saying goes, if you live with a lame person, you will learn to limp.
Thanks, Julia. That was China Take researcher Julia Liu with a look at another issue of corruption in the pharmaceutical and healthcare industries. Next up on China Take, some of the top trending phrases on China's most popular search engines.